right, so YouTube is working this time. Thank God. Turn this on. And we'll do it like that. All right, let me. We'll move. Well, we can leave that right there just because I need it, and then we'll. The fact that we're at 9, we're almost to 1,000. I'm so excited, bro. I think it's like oh boy part 2. If we're being honest, oh boy part 2. Let me throw this in front of me for a little bit. I'll be like, keep an eye on YouTube. YouTube would just kind of, I gotta look and see. I gotta pull up nutty shit and see if I can clear the. There we go. There we go. Mm. Hmm. Oh, he's got multi-stream alerts. That's kind of lit. I might have to mess with that. Hey, what's up? How you doing? How do you pronounce your name? Alkabulan? Alkabulan? If you could case Wes Chatham in an MCU or DCU movie, who would it be? We need you to bring Joseph back. Hey man, I would love to like have Joseph Village be on stream again. Like Joseph Village is my guy. Like his wisdom means so much to me. It was my idol and still is my idol like to this day because I followed him for a long time before doing stuff. It's my African origin, my username. Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure I was pronouncing that right. Oh yeah, fair enough. Wes Chatham. Who's Wes? That sounds familiar. Hold on. I'm like, who the fuck? Um, what do I know you from? I know that face. I just don't know what from. He's giving fuck boy vibes. Is he British? Where's he from? Oh, he's American. Okay. Hmm. He's been a military grunt before. Hmm. I don't know. Someone wanted him to be Thrawn at one point. I don't know. I was like, because if he was British, I was gonna say Captain Britain because he has like that really chiseled jawline. But in terms of like a person, like I'm like going through my memory bank here for a quick sec. Let me look at chat. He's also in the new season of Cross. Okay, just finished Secret War 2015. Oh, so does your brain hurt, Emmanuel? Does your brain hurt? Because that's what all Secret Wars does is hurt your brain. Wes Chatham, he was in the new season of Cross. He's been in a couple different things. Because the TikTok chat asked, I don't know why the TikTok chat isn't showing up in the multi chat for whatever reason. I can check TikFinity. Hey, what's up, Ghost? I see you in the Twitch chat. Here, hold on. Let me. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm not looking at my screen for like 2 seconds because I'm trying to. I'm trying to pull up the instructions for this multi-chat because I forgot how to use it because I'm trying to see where the TikTok chat is because I'm like, yeah, so Tickfinity is required for TikTok support. WebSocket, how to install, customize chat overlay. Where do you go to custom? Oh, so yeah, there's the widget. There's the widget. Okay. I was like, wait a damn minute. Nutty multi chat widget. Shout out to Nutty. The dude is a freaking badass. Show platform. Enable TikTok support. Event API. Okay, cool. So client connected. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. Was able to get my hands on the Dakota incident. Haven't read it. I mean, Lennox, I think you'll really enjoy it. Hey, yo, SE Comics with the heart, bro. I appreciate you. I gotta reset. Where's the over? There's the URL. So I'm streaming on TikTok as well as YouTube. Like that's why I'm trying to make sure YouTube is connected, but it's not showing YouTube right this second. Second comic shop. Wait, I went to a second comic shop for a copy. That's crazy. That is insane. I was like I went to like 3 different shops just to buy up whatever they didn't have because I wanted to make sure like everybody could get like I could give out copies if people needed some. They said they weren't getting a whole lot of traction in my area, but granted I live in Ohio, so like it makes sense that I wouldn't show things. Here, let me. I'm like retrying to rebuild this freaking like YouTube side of things real quick. Enable WebSocket server. Customize. Multi-chat. Yeah. So in StreamerBot, I know my WebSocket server is available. Customize multi-chat widget. Add a browser source. My only fear is that I want to make sure YouTube works because like YouTube. Nutty, did you break my shit? Because it's only showing TikTok, which I like, but I want to make sure that I can see TikTok and YouTube real quick. Weird. Give me like 2 seconds, y'all, and we'll be back up in a second. Not like a backup. I'm still here, but like I'm trying to like make sure YouTube is connected. Because right now, for whatever reason, hey yo, DCU updates is in the chat. Yo, how you doing? Okay. Oh, I gotta put the WebSocket shit in StreamerBot. I understand that. There we go. Okay. Home. Is my streamer bot? Do I have to crash my streamer bot real quick because it's not loading? Son of a gun. See, this is why I need to start testing things before stream instead of just going off the cuff. I should probably stop doing that. I should probably wait. It says it's working now. Nah, it's still broken. End task. Open StreamerBot. I prefer StreamerBot over like because I used to use Firebot and Firebot was just annoying. But like StreamerBot has been like my new best. Like this thing is just great. Every once in a while it'll have like a little crack in the system, but like usually shit just goes swimmingly. I'm not seeing chat for like 2 seconds because like stuff is loading. So give me 2 shakes of a lick. A Lord Darkside is sending likes. Holy shit! Hello, Lord Darkside. My Lord and Savior, how are you? We should have got a guest correspondence for this live stream. What do you mean by guest correspondence? Can you elaborate? Oh, is it all working now? Oh shit, it's all working now on one thing. Oh shit, I think it is. Wait, no. Oh no, this part's working. I just gotta put the new URL in the whatchamacallit. Hold on. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. That's gonna be like that for like 2 seconds. YouTube's probably like, what the fuck? And then I'm about to come over here and be like, dunk on these hoes. Brand. Jesus Christ, this URL is so long, Nutty. What the fuck? Jesus criminy. Okay, there we go. Okay, people start typing in chat. Everybody start saying words. Start saying words, please. Start doing the things. I need to test the things. I need to test to make sure things are working. Words. Hello, words. Can I get words over on YouTube? Because we're trying to see if the things work. Ping, ping. I mean, like, TikTok's working, but YouTube's not showing anything just yet. So, because no one's talking. Hey, there we go, Dreamer. Thank you. Yes, everything works. We are up and running. My encoder is getting overloaded because of Twitch, but like, okay, is YouTube still up? Is YouTube still up? Because I turned off Twitch. Is YouTube still up? Here's that's the question. Because I want to because I want to stop using. I might have to rebalance my shit that way YouTube is the primary functionality. But like, we should be good to go to where everyone sees everything on the multi chat. Shout out to some dude for sending some likes. I like how it shows the likes. That's really cool. I like that a lot. What up, Dreamer? How you doing, man? Let me catch up on chat real quick. So what's on your pull list? Lord Darkside, I have a lot of shit on my pull list, bro. I mostly my pull list right now it was mostly indie shit because DC and Marvel have just not really been giving me anything that's worth my time. That's why I've been telling people that like genuinely indies are where you need to be looking for your books right now. Like those are the best. That's the best place to find your books because DC and Marvel have just like because like yes, there are fans that love the absolute universe, and I'm not gonna knock you for liking the absolute universe, but I have been more interested in things like Ignition Press. So I take it you also don't have the answers. What do you mean, Emmanuel? Sorry. Isn't all the Watchmen stuff not made by more worth it? Before Watchmen is okay. I think before Watchmen is decent. Doomsday Clock is hot garbage, but like before Watchmen is all right. It's not the best thing ever, but it's all right. It's worth a read. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat. I'm on I'm on an indie kick forever. I'm trying to catch up. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, indies is just phenomenal. Like something's killing the children. Anything made by James Tynion is just gonna be fucking bars. Let me go over to Chrome real quick because that giant like bar. We're gonna turn likes off of the thing because that black bar would drive me nuts. TikTok. I'm cutting off the likes off the chat because that giant bar it would drive me nuts. I've been wanting to start reading X-Men. Where should I start? That's complicated. Because here's the thing. X-Men is like there's so many great jumping on points for X-Men where you could start in the Krakoa age with House of X and like House of X and House of X and Powers of X, or you could jump in with stuff like the Schism era where it was Wolverine and the X-Men and then X-Men, or you could jump into the Marvel Now era, you should not start with God Loves Man Kills. Do you hate yourself? That's traumatic. Don't do that. God Loves Man Kills is traumatic as fuck. Don't start with God Loves Man Kills. Do you hate your life? Do you want to suffer like horrible pain and torture off rip? That's a horrible way to start your X-Men journey. Okay, yeah, the multi-chat's still showing the like bar. Let me go in here. There we go. Jump into the deep so you learn how to. No, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Any comic can be someone's first. I believe in what Stan Lee said about that. But like, God Loves Man Kills is kind of rough. That's a rough place to start, if you ask me. That means you genuinely just hate the person you're trying to give a book to. If you told them to start with the go, sorry, Nutty. But like, if you told them to start with God Loves Man Kills, you just hate that person. You want them to suffer. If you know, please answer my questions about Miles. Oh, sorry, like I'm over here trying to catch up on chat. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm like trying to read YouTube and TikTok and catch up. So like, it is like, bear with me here. Um, I've been wanting to. Well, say I saw the X-Men one. Where's the Miles question? Let me scroll back up here. I really enjoy, but I'm also confused about Miles rewriting into 616. Like, are his friends and family also in the 616? Yes. So like, everybody like Rio and Uncle Aaron and and Michael and everybody in his family and Genki got transported into the 616. They all got like forcibly injected into 616 canon when the first when Secret Wars ended. That's the best way to put it, is that Miles' entire family plus Genki's family got injected into the 616 universe. Let me put that back up. There we go. But to be fair, I haven't read much X-Men. That's fair. I mean, X-Men's complicated, so it makes sense. Read an indie comic today, and I'm posting a review tomorrow. What indie comic? Yo, Mayhem, what's good, fam? Well, we're having a good time. We just started streaming a little bit ago about like what we were doing. We were dealing with some technical difficulties, so we're currently trying to get back on track here. I kind of dropped a bomb right before I started stream where I was like, "Hey, yo, fuck you if you use AI," and I jumped straight into stream. I was like, "Hey, yo, fuck you." Chill, broski. I'm just getting off work and tired as heck. Big W. Are any Suicide Squad comics as the same vibe as James Suicide Squad? Uh as Gun Suicide Squad, I mean, you can just read Ostrander. If you read Ostrander, like go pick up the Ostrander Compendium or the Ostrander Suicide Squad collections. That's pretty much just where Gunn got most of his source material. If you want like David Ayer Suicide Squad, read New 52 or DC Rebirth Suicide Squad. Hey McFly, what's good, fam? That's a fair take. Fuck AI. I mean, but like the problem with me saying fuck AI is that there's been a lot of people in like the comic content creator space who have been like habitually abusing AI recently, and it's been pissing me the fuck off. And I'm like genuinely tired of it. Like I'm actually tired of it. But also read Ostrander in general. I mean, yes, Magneto, read Ostrander in general because Ostrander is amazing. But like, that's definitely like a great place to start, in my opinion, is Ostrander. Did I lose a subscriber on YouTube? What the fuck? I went from 907 to 906. That's some bullshit. We were doing so good. But for real, my fanfic got scraped to train AI. You know, fuck that shit, bro. Fuck AI. If anyone ever gets mad at me for like saying I say fuck AI, then that's on you, dog. Like AI is a problem. AI is ruining our world. And if you think I'm a shit person for calling out AI usage, I don't know what to tell you. Mm. Excuse me. I just lost my job yesterday, so to AI. So fuck AI. Oh, bro, I'm so sorry. Yeah, fuck AI. AI is some bullshit. They taking jobs out here in these streets. Yeah, fuck AI. Hashtag comics. Hashtag Black History Month. Damn, I say that. We shot from 906 to 909. Shout out to y'all for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Does Storm have any good solo books? Her current book is phenomenal. Her like if you go read Storm Earth's Mightiest Mutant by Murewa Ayodele, it's really good. And then don't read Rogue Storm if you don't want to. Read the Storm book from last year, which is also written by Murewa. Go read that. Like Storm is on an iconic run right now. You can go read Storm and have a good time right now. She's doing good work. Like Murewa is putting in mad work. He knows the character. He loves the character's lore. Involving her mythology. Like definitely go pick up Storm right now. It's definitely worth your money. Definitely make sure I'll replace that subscriber, bro. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you. I'm about to say we're almost to 1,000, which I didn't see coming. We were at like 300 before I did like a bunch of crossovers with people, and then I shot up to like past 500, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm really thankful to everybody who's been super supportive. Like genuinely, it means a lot. Like I didn't expect this to pop off like this. Hey, I appreciate you, Lennox. I just finished the Storm run from last year, and I was dragging my feet to read Rogue Storm, so I'm gonna jump to Earth's My. Yeah, like Rogue Storm. Rogue Storm is cute. It's fun, but like it's not necessary. You can just read Earth's Mightiest Mutant, and you'll be fine. Not solo, but love Storm and Ultimate Black Panther too. Oh yeah, Storm and Ultimate Black Panther is phenomenal. I definitely recommend like Ultimate Black Panther. I will wholeheartedly admit that I wasn't reading Ultimate Black Panther like pre-ordering it. I was reading it in trade, and I have been reading it in trade mostly because of the fact that like Lord Darkside with the Twitch follow. I appreciate you, fam. Holy shit, I totally forgot I was like live on. Well, no, I'm not even live on Twitch right now, but I appreciate the follow over on Twitch. Who's the next guest you want for the YouTube live stream? So like I'm not even really doing like we're still debating doing the damn, and he subscribed with Prime. Yo, holy shit. We're not even live on Twitch, bro. What the fuck? I appreciate you, fam. But like genuinely we're not even like what's the word I'm saying? What was the word I was thinking of? Like we're still debating if we want to do the and then Lennox over here with the follow on Twitch. Jesus Christ, y'all are awesome. I need to get new emotes. I keep saying I need to like my old mascot is still my Twitch emotes. I need to actually like pay and get that fixed. But in terms of the guest, we're still debating on if we want to do the podcast as a live stream, and because we've been doing Comics Unmasked as an ongoing like recorded thing. You can find it on like Spotify and Apple and stuff like that, because I don't want to just do the show on live stream and then people not be drawn to it, or like people be annoyed if we're reacting with chat during the recorded version, or like during the recorded playback. I don't want people to be frustrated by that, so I'm trying to find a balance. Hey Jordan, what's good, fam? How you doing? Would you rather reread New 52 Batman or the entirety of Walking Dead, New 52 Batman? Because New 52 Batman is the one good book in the New 52. Now, if you'd have said any other book from the New 52, I'd have been like Walking Dead, like because fuck the New 52. But like genuine, like I am. If there is no longer a hater of the New 52, I am dead. I tell people all the time that the New 52 is trash. I am that dude who will tell you to your face that the New 52 is trash. Mm. Also, I appreciate all the likes over on TikTok, y'all. Really, New 52 Flash was pretty solid with Batman, but yeah, Blue. Yeah, like New 52 Flash's biggest problem was it was trying to figure out if it wanted to be a prequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths or not, and it was trying to rebalance that continuity, and it was a pain in the ass because like you're telling me that all the Robins exist, but Crisis on Infinite Earths didn't happen, like, huh? You know what I mean? Like that was the biggest problem with the New 52 is they didn't commit to the bit. They didn't commit to the reboot. And it drew it into this bullshit and nonsense the whole time. That was the biggest issue. You can make a special episode for your podcast if you want to go live. That's what we're thinking is that like we'll do like a monthly thing where we do a live stream. I'm good on most Barry led flash stories. I mean, I hate Barry Allen, but like that's just me. I am a Barry Allen hater, but that's just me. Like we're still going back and forth with it because like my co-host said they were down with the idea to do it like that, but we're still trying to like figure out what we want to do. Also, yeah, Wally is the go. We stand Wally West in this house. Like we are not Barry Allen people here. Like we are Wally West people. And even more controversial, I'm a Bart Allen person, but like that's just me. Callie, what's good, girl? How you been? I'm gonna say we're also live over on YouTube, folks. We're trying to get the YouTube popping. So like, if you want to come through, hang out with us, by all means. Well, I say Dreamers over kicking with us on YouTube. I really appreciate y'all hanging out. We're gonna be reacting to a couple of videos here shortly. So like, I'm just letting folks kind of like wander in and hang out. Me reading Cyspiria Run a Flash from recently in trades, like at least it's Wally. Man, Cyspiria, he's complicated, man. Like sometimes Cy Spurrier is just the goat, and sometimes brother don't know what the fuck he doing. If that makes sense. Like sometimes he genuinely like puts out some of the best work of his career, and sometimes he's a freaking idiot. So it's like pick a lane and stick with it, my guy. Like, do you want to write a character or do you not want to write a character? And it's like he's so inconsistent because like I've read some good shit from him, but I genuinely can't like think of a time where he hasn't fucked up, and I'm just like, can we stop? Like I remember I really liked his Uncanny X-Men where like it was like Magneto, Sabretooth, Archangel, and Monet. I really liked that, but like otherwise, like dude is very hit or miss. It's very frustrating at times. At least I think that was his run. I think the Flash stuff he's doing is good, but also so much sciencey talk, and I feel like a little stupid. I mean, that is a drawback of Wally West is that like the whole like we're just like Flash in general is it's trying to balance all of the nutty stuff with the science, and it can be very confusing to people. So I definitely understand where your head's at. But let's go ahead and swap over to the live stream portion of the show. The YouTube people get to see my TikTok layout for like 2 seconds because I gotta flip it over. Melvin Taylor. Hey yo, fam. Holy shit. I'll take that. Alright. So let's go ahead and react to this because dude came through and made a video where he referenced 1,000 days and I wanted to talk about it. Shout out to Comical Opinions on YouTube. Dude made a reaction to the 1,000 days, and it was pretty insightful. So I want to give him the floor to speak to folks.
It's been over 1,000 days since DC Comics published a black character-led ongoing series in their main continuity. 1,000 days. That's not a moment. That's a business decision. DC will happily tell you they're more committed to diversity greater than ever. But walk into any shop and look at the actual shelf. That story falls apart pretty fast. Variant covers are everywhere. One-shots are everywhere. The one thing missing is the one thing that actually proves commitment in publishing. A long-running, solo ongoing with real support behind it. Today we're not doing a culture war video. That's not our cup of tea here.
Dubstep, stop that. Over here flirting with me. What's wrong with you?
But we're doing a little bit of an autopsy. because from 2021 to 2026, DC's treatment of Black-led series looks less like a strategy and more like a string of short-term PR stunts that never evolve into long-term investment. Let's get into it. Hey, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and tap the bell for notification. It helps us grow and it helps us make more videos just like this one. So here's the symptom. 1,000 days of nothing. It's been roughly 1,000 days since I Am Batman, the last.
So, to correct here, I think he was going off of my original video. The truth of the matter is, and I had to confirm via the wiki, I was looking at the cover date, because the last issue of I Am Batman number 18 actually came out on February 14th. I was wrong originally when I made the 1,000 days video. We had already surpassed 1,000 days by the time I made the 1,000 days video. The cover date, for whatever reason, is April 2023. I'm guessing that might be when the trade came out potentially. But yeah, so it's technically, if you go to dcsowhite.com, it's that we're at 1,109 days. So that is definitely a thing that you can look to as a resource, is dcsowhite.com. But that's kind of where we're at right now. So like, he's technically incorrect, but I don't think he knew that when making his video. So like, I'm not gonna like dock him points for that. It's actually disgusting how many days it's been. Yeah.
Last Black character-led ongoing in DC's main line, which wrapped up in about April 2023. Not a mini, not a one-shot, not a digital special, an actual ongoing with a Black hero as the lead. Since then, what have we gotten? Short miniseries, commemorative milestone projects, 6-issue runs, and one-and-done spotlight titles. On paper, it looks like a lot of activity, but in practice, it all adds up to a very expensive way to avoid making a real decision. Because in publishing, support is not about how many times you launch something. Support is about how long you're willing to keep it alive when the marketing campaign is over. Miniseries are tests, variant covers are marketing, ongoings are commitment. Right now, DC's record on Black-led ongoings is a blank line for over 1,000.
You want to hear something really funny that me and a few people found out? There has only been 10 ongoing series for Black characters in the DC mainline continuity since 1977. For the past 50 years, we've only had 10 ongoings in the mainline continuity. Isn't that crazy? Like we even did a mock-up picture of all 10. I'll show them on screen. And when I found this out, I was dumbfounded, where I could not understand how this was possible. We have only had 10. Let me do an image, dude. Like actually, no. I'll just I'll just do like a regular image file, because let me do it like this. So you know, this is literally all 10 ongoings we've ever had at DC in the past. In the past 50 years, we've had Black Lightning, Green Lantern Mosaic, Steel. Steel is probably the longest running, by the way. Black Lightning in 1995, that only lasted 13 issues. Firestorm, actually no, Firestorm might beat Steel. I need to double check. Batwing, Static Shock lasted 8 issues. Cyborg again right after that because of Rebirth, and then I Am Batman. We've had 10. Isn't that crazy? The fact, like the fact that fact makes me want to hurl. Yeah, not gonna lie. Nothing has ever made more sense to me. See, Dead of Night, you get it because both of us understand the system. But like, white folks are finding this out and actually and actually being appalled, which is thankfully that shows they're good allies. But yeah, no, like, and what's so funny is I was under the impression it was only 9, and then in this video I watched it on my way home from work today. This guy reminded me of Green Lantern Mosaic because I forgot about Green Lantern Mosaic. So originally I was going into this live stream thinking there was 9. So yeah. Is there a reason Miles Morales isn't on the list? Because we're talking about DC right now, Ben. We're not talking about Marvel. Marvel, I would have to do the math on that because Marvel's had like Luke Cage, Black Panther over and over and over again, Miles over and over and over, Storm here and there. I like there's a Mosaic comic. Like I would have to do some research when it comes to trying to pin down Marvel. I think Marvel would definitely have a better track record than DC. This is exactly why I primarily buy indie bundles DC keeps playing in our faces. I mean, you're not wrong. Oh no, you're fine. You're brand new here, Ben. You didn't know. It's not a big deal. That's an interesting shoot. Black. Yeah, the 1995 run of Black Lightning was interesting to say the least. But it is where we got Painkiller from. I will say that. Yeah, getting more into comics in the last year has really been eye opening. Yeah.
Days. Now that's the symptom, but let's talk about the system underneath it. At some point in the last decade, DC shifted from building pillars to checking boxes. Instead of saying, we're going to build this character into a long term franchise, the pattern looks more like, we're going to launch something loud, grab the headlines, and then quietly walk away 6 issues later. From a business perspective, that is a terrible way to handle any segment you claim to care about. Think about how you actually build a pillar character. You commit to years, not months. You keep the book in print long enough for word of mouth to matter. You let trade sales and digital bundles catch up, and then you give retailers a reason to keep stocking that spine on the shelf. Now compare that to what DC actually did with the most recent modern Blacklead titles. Launch a mini, tie it to a line-wide initiative, collect it once, if at all, and then move on. That is not how you build a line. That is how you treat a trend. And because DC keeps treating Blacklead series like seasonal inventory, they never get the chance to become stable revenue streams. You can't build a loyal audience around a character when the clock is already set to 6 issues and out. Meanwhile, those same months are packed with multiple Batman family ongoings, Superman flavored variations, and yet another round of Justice League branded minis. In other words, DC knows how to commit when it wants to. It just refuses to apply that same discipline to Blacklead books. That's not a feelings problem, that is a priority problem. Now, I'm talking in generalities, but
now here's the thing. I will say this because I talked about, well, me and Morgan Hampton, writer of Green Lantern Corps, talked about this in my interview with him. I don't think DC is doing this like intentionally. I think they're in from their perspective, they are trying. Despite their perspective being warped and archaic and stupid, they wholeheartedly believe they are trying, but they're not actually doing a good job. Like, because from their perspective, they've tried to put out a mini series. They tried to see if anyone would like it. They saw a lack of sales and they put it out to pasture. But like he's saying, they didn't actually try. They tried from their perspective, and it's kind of complicated in that way.
let's get specific. From January 2021 to early 2026, you can count multiple Blacklead projects across DC and the Milestone imprint. On the surface, it sounds pretty impressive. Lots of names, lots of logos, plenty of launch announcements. But once you look at how long any of those lasted, the pattern is brutal. Jace Fox as Batman in I Am Batman makes it to 18 issues, the longest modern example. The rest, mostly 6-issue minis, 12-issue experiments, and anniversary projects that vanish at the end of February, or as fast as they arrive. Nubia gets 2 minis, Static, Hardware, Icon, and Rocket, each a 6-issue season 1 under the DC banner, promoted big, sure, then closed out almost immediately. Far Sector runs 12 issues and out. Green Lantern War Journal, which focuses specifically on John Stewart, ends at 12 issues. Cyborg gets a 6-issue mini, which wasn't particularly...
I will state he accidentally showed David F. Walker's Cyborg from 2015, not Morgan Hampton's 6-issue miniseries from last year. So one correction there. I will say that.
Good, which is why it ended. Mr. Terrific Year 1 shows up as a 6-issue mini in 2025 when he was a prominent character in last summer's Superman movie. Even Black Lightning appears in short bursts, and that's it. When you tally it all together, roughly 8 to 9 distinct black leads across about 10 titles in that 5-year window. Most of them are done by 6 issues. The average lifespan is somewhere between 6 and 12 issues before the lights go out. Now, if you're DC, you can spin that as look how many characters we've spotlighted. But if you're a retailer or a reader, the question isn't how many launches did you do? The question is what is still alive 2 or 3 years later? Because that's what tells you whether a character is a pillar or a checkbox. Now let's roll back the clock a little bit. From the mid 1980s to the mid 1990s, a bit of a broader window because there was so much turmoil, but we wanted to take a more comprehensive look. Starting from 1984 to 1985, because there was so much turnover, DC and Milestone actually let several black-led titles live. Static ran around 40 issues, 40. Hardware had another 40. Icon, roughly 35. Blood Syndicate added about another 35. On the DC side, Steel launched in 1994 and ran into the late 90s with 40 to 50 issues total. Black Lightning got a proper ongoing. John Stewart had Green Lantern Mosaic for 18 issues plus long stretches as the main Green Lantern. Fewer characters overall, but they each got long-running ongoings that pushed into the 30 to 50 issue range.
Yep.
They got time to grow, to find their audience, to show up in back issue bins and trades. In other words, fewer launches, but way more commitment. Now compare that to the modern 5-year window, 8 to 9 characters, mostly 6 to 12 issues each. On a per year basis, you might even argue DC is launching more now, but in terms of actual long-term presence, the 90s blow the modern era out of the water.
I will say, to what he's saying, to what DC's credit, to DC's response. DC's response is going to be, oh, we are in a modern era. Relaunches have showed that number ones definitely draw more potential for books and whatnot. But that's not going to fly. That's not going to fly because Batman has his titles, Superman has his titles, Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, etc., etc. Like, you need to show the modern audience that you care about these characters. You can't just say, oh, well, 6 issues went by and y'all didn't support it. Guess we'll call it a mini-series. Like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because that doesn't give you enough time to track digital. That doesn't give you enough time to see if anyone picks up the trade paperback. And it genuinely makes you look like a moron because you're not gathering enough data to show if there's actual interest in this book. And that's a problem. DC is so Batman-centric, but they have a character who operates in the daytime in Gotham, but doesn't deem him worthy to have his own book. Yeah. I got a question. What do you consider an ongoing? Because to me, any series that goes over 12 issues or a year, like anything that goes over 12 issues that is specifically programmed not to like be shut off, due to it's meant to be. Like, it even is said to be an ongoing, is an ongoing. Like, they will even put in the like press release, this is going to be an ongoing. Like, even Stephanie Phillips was talking about Daredevil today, and she was asked, how long does she plan to write? And she straight up says, well, we don't have a definitive date because it is an ongoing, so we're going to be writing for a long time. And that's very true. When you go into an ongoing, there's potential they might bring in a new creative team. There's potential they might do something innovative. So it's not one for one, if that makes sense. DC, give me a Duke Thomas ongoing solo and My Life Is Yours. I would kill for Duke Thomas to get some goddamn spotlight in here, but I don't think DC wants to do that. But my own rules, that means Black Lightning 78 isn't on. So, Black Lightning 77 is an ongoing because it's considered the first ever ongoing in DC. The problem is DC cut it short, again, because of sales. But it is considered an ongoing when it comes to the metric of its time frame. It was the first ever Black ongoing. And if you say otherwise, Jenny Isabella will break into your house and fight you. That's just a fact of life at that point. All right.
Now, if you're a reader, you feel that as these books never last. If you're a retailer, you feel like I can't build a customer base around something that disappears in 6 months.
Yeah.
And if you're DC, whether you admit it or not, you're telling the market, we don't believe these characters can hold a line.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marvel keeps Miles Morales in ongoing circulation year after year. They're not perfect, but they understand that if you want a character to be a franchise, you keep the lights on. DC keeps flipping the breaker off at issue 12 at best.
That's a great way to put that. They're not trying to keep the lights on. They're flicking the breaker off and on nonstop. Um, After reading the Dakota incident from this week, I'd love a modern hardware run, bro. I have I want so badly for hardware to have an ongoing, because hardware is technically the first milestone and the last milestone book. He ran the longest. He was the first one published and the last one published, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves because Static blew up because of the TV show. Even though hardware was supposed to be like their Iron Man, their Batman, like he was supposed to be the front runner, Static blew up. And Static became the like $1 billion franchise worthy character. And I feel like hardware doesn't get the respect he deserves. Excuse me.
So we are always talking about problems, but let's talk about solutions. What would it look like if DC actually treated black-led titles like a serious, long-term investment instead of a seasonal promotion? First, you stop using minis as the default.
Yes.
Don't build anything meaningful when your plan from day one is 6 and done. If you truly believe in a Black Batman, a Black Green Lantern, or a milestone revival, you support them like you support Bruce Wayne, Hal Jordan, or the core Justice League.
Ooh, speak
that
on it.
means a 3-year plan minimum, not 3 variant covers, 3 years.
Notice how I said 2 years. I wasn't gonna push for 3. My original video said 2 years per book. But I like what he's saying. He's saying 18 to 24 and no panic pulling, because that way it has a chance to get to trade, get to digital, and get to libraries, because some people can't afford always to get to a comic store, so libraries are their best option a lot of the time. So he definitely makes a really good point that libraries are very beneficial to people in those regards.
Year 1, you launch the ongoing, you build a clear tone, and you commit to at least 18 to 24 issues before even thinking about pulling the plug. Year 2, lean into trades and digital. Get those books in libraries and schools, and keep the marketing talking about them. And then year 3, decide whether this character becomes a permanent pillar or graduates into a bigger role. That's the first thing. Now, second, you stop treating every black-led title like it has to carry the entire idea of diversity on its back in a single arc. From a business standpoint, that is insane pressure and it never works. Let a book just be a book. Stop trying to create some kind of meta value that doesn't necessarily appeal to the right audience. Let it build a loyal audience the same way you do with any other character, by showing up every month. Third, you align expectation with reality. If you're going to launch a black-led title, give retailers a clear signal. We are in this for the long haul, you must say. We are not going to yank.
That's the other thing too, is that we just finished with Comics Pro. We know for a fact that not just with Comics Pro, but all retailers, when they join Lunar, when they were a part of Diamond, when they're a part of Penguin, when they are networking with these publishers, they are invited to retailer calls, to retailer summits, to talk to the publishers about what books are coming out. And while there is something to be said about like, oh, I bought 2 or 3 for the shelf and some for my subscribers who subscribe to the book, and that's it. And that's the key thing, is that you're coming in and saying, I want to pre-order this. So the store pulled it for me, and then maybe bought like 1 for the shelf. But the cool thing about them actually saying, we want to be here for the long haul. We want to actually listen to our fans that who want a black ongoing, and we want to actually be there for the long haul. That would be an opportunity for them to be like, hey, retailer, don't just buy 1 or 2 for the shelf, buy like 4 or 5, maybe try to reach for an incentive cover, because we're going to promote the fuck out of this and actually get this to where you actually want to buy issue 2, issue 3, 6, 7, 8, etc. Like, actually make it worth their goddamn time. For real libraries have been so great for the stuff I have been able to find, like Hoopla. Yeah, no, like libraries are freaking awesome. I didn't even jump on the absolute run until 6 issues in. That's because that's like the biggest new runs now. And that's the other thing too, is some people don't want to risk the investment and they wait a few issues to see if it's gonna be good.
This at issue 6 unless the floor completely falls out. That gives shops the confidence to hand sell it and stock the trades. Finally, stop using social media buzz as your primary metric to decide whether or not a character is worth it. Going viral for a week because you launched a new Blacklead mini is not a win. The win is when the same character has Volume 4 sitting in the graphic novel section 5 years later at Barnes & Noble or whatever bookshop carries it. Right now,
Speak
the
on it.
data says DC is not interested in winning that way. They're interested in being seen, making the attempt, but not in doing the long work of building a pillar. So that's where DC's at, and that's where we're at. What about you? Which Blacklead DC book did you love that got killed way?
Black Lightning, Mr. Terrific. Like, I can tell you right there that like those are the 2 books, and also like because genuinely Black Lightning should always have a book in DC, and I will fight people who say otherwise, because Black Lightning was your first. He should be your fourth pillar of the DC universe, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves. Damn it. Because people will be so quick to say that um like I'm gonna make a video of this. So we just got done watching this great video by Comical Opinions, who basically went over the 1,000 Days issue, talked about everything. If you need to see how many days it's been, you can go to dcsowhite.com. Like, genuinely, this video goes over everything, and it's really cool how he breaks everything down, because there's a lot of blame on DC's part and subsequently Marvel's part when it comes to how they set this up, to where they kind of set these books up to fail, where they're like, hey, we'll give you a mini series, we're hardly going to promote it, and then we'll blame you for not buying it enough. We'll blame you for not caring about it enough. And it's like, that stings, because you're blaming me because you didn't tell me it was coming. Now, granted, there's something to be said about like we're living in a digital age. You should be communicating with your local comic book shop and know what books are coming out. But there comes a certain point where DC needs to actually sit down with publishers. Like, let me redo that. But there seemingly comes a point where DC needs to sit down with comic shops or sit down in informational videos on social media and explain how sales work, because everyone's under this assumption that you can just walk into a comic book shop and grab a book off the shelf and that counts as a sale. No, it doesn't, because that sale has already been counted because your comic book store bought it. The only way that a sale from you would matter is if you ask the store to pre-order it for you. If you want that to be a unique sale that already hasn't been counted, is if you ask your store to pre-order it for you. If you add it to your pull list, that's how you can get a book to count. And to a certain extent, there's been a lot of people who have been super excited, like, oh, the Dakota Incident has been selling out at my local comic book shop. Oh, I had to go to 2 different shops, 3 different shops because it was sold out. Here's the thing. There are some stores that bought this book in bulk, but a lot of them really didn't see the appeal of it, or didn't think it was or didn't really think it was important enough, so they didn't buy a lot of it. So when they say, oh, we're sold out, it's they had 2 on the shelf and those sold out. So while we should be very excited that it was the top selling book on Amazon digital this past week, let me read that. So we should be very excited that it's the top selling book on digital this week on Amazon. We should be excited that some popular stores are saying it's sold out. But at the same time, there comes a recognition issue where we actually look at the fact that a lot of these comic stores don't believe in Black characters because they don't see us coming in to support them. We are just as responsible to the entire situation as DC in a lot of cases, didn't know DC is more responsible when it comes to the fact that we need to actually seek these books out. We need to actually go into comic book stores and actually ask questions. Because if we're not asking these questions of the store owners, how can we say that, oh, I didn't know about that? Why didn't you do some research? Why didn't you ask questions? Because you can only throw blame at DC's feet so many times. But those are just my thoughts. Drop me a follow, leave me a comment, let me know what you're thinking about this. Have a great day. That was just a short, guys. My store bought two, yeah. Actually makes me sad, makes me mad they didn't capitalize on Mr. Terrific. Bro, it drives me freaking nuts they didn't capitalize on Mr. Terrific. Give Jace his own identity and ongoing. I mean, like, Jace is fine as Batman. Jace is a great Batman. He's just kind of like left in the dust and not really cared about. That's a major issue for a lot of folks. Is that like he was brought in to be the next chapter because of Future State, and then they just left him in the trash can. That's the major issue we live with right now. Bought 3 copies of the Dakota Incident variant covers. Exactly. I remember everyone and their mama makes edits of Mr. Terrific. They make a lot of edits of Mr. Terrific, but how about you go ask your local comic book shop how those sales looked for Mr. Terrific year 1? Because that's the thing, is that Mr. Terrific year 1 didn't really sell well. So, like, while I can throw a lot of blame at DC's feet for the lack of promotion for the book, they didn't even like repost or retweet my interview with the writer, because I did an interview with the writer Al Letson right before issue 5 came out, and I was super excited about it. And DC didn't repost it. Al Letson did because he cared, but like DC didn't care. I interviewed Nicholas Draper Ivy and Evan Narcissus when Static Batman Beyond was coming out, and DC didn't repost it. DC didn't care. And it's like, genuinely, like, I can definitely throw a lot of blame at the fans' feet for not doing their research and not caring, but a lot of the blame is at DC's feet, because DC doesn't let these books have a chance. They don't give them an opportunity to exist past 6 issues. And that's the biggest issue that we see, is that like, you like, genuinely, DC sets these books up to fail. And that's why we're living in a world right now where over the past 50 years we've only had 10 ongoings. And it's sad. It's pitiful, actually. Hey, Lewis, what's up, fam? Hey, Caleb, what's good? Very true. Static Batman Beyond is fire. Static Batman Beyond is phenomenal. Very off topic, but do you think Wonder Woman should have an action? Oh, I've been saying this for years. I actually need to. I made a video about this before. Why doesn't Wonder Woman have Sensation comics? There's no reason why Wonder Woman shouldn't have Sensation comics, because that would be a great way to showcase the like the Wonder Girls and shit like that, or Nubia. So many titles we didn't even know existed until it was nearly over. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you look at the miniseries list over on DCSoWhite.com. You look at that like, this is all the miniseries that DC has put out for Black characters since 2000. Isn't that crazy? So, and like, we like, all these could have been ongoings. All these could have been ongoing opportunities, and they weren't. If you look at the ongoings, it's even worse. Where you had 10 options. 1 in the 70s, 2 in the 90s, actually 3 in the 90s, 1 in the 2000s, 2 in the teens, well, 2 in the New 52 launch, 1 in during DCU, 1 during Rebirth, and 1 during DC all in, or Future State-ish. And that's it. Yeah, Mr. Miracle had, well, cause yeah, Mr. Miracle is Shiloh Norman. Do you not know about Shiloh Norman? Put some respect on my man Shiloh Norman. Shiloh Norman is the GOAT. Put some respect on my man Shiloh Norman. He is Scott Free's protege, and he is the GOAT, and he does not get the respect he deserves. Shiloh Norman is a beast. Put some respect on my man's name. He is the GOAT. Put some respect on my man's name. Like, look at that shit. Man is the beast. Shiloh Norman, shout out to Jack Kirby. Exactly. He was in Final Crisis, but he's also like came back recently during Infinite Frontier. Like, he was Scott Free's protege, and he's just the GOAT and deserves some respect to put on his name. Hey, yo, Brain, thank you for the heart. I appreciate you, fam. We're also live over on YouTube if you want to come hang out with us. But put some respect on Shiloh Norman. But yeah, this website is available for you folks if you like need to keep track of the counter, the day counter. It updates every day at midnight. So if you ever need to know what the clock is, it's right there for you. And I'm gonna be making an official video about this on Sunday, but I'm giving y'all the early scoop. If you ever need to know what the counter is, go to dcsowhite.com. That's gonna be a fun thing to do, is air that out to people. Can I be honest? I grew up with Black Lex Luthor, and I remember being shocked he was. So, like, here's the thing. Clancy Brown Lex Luthor wasn't black. He sounds like they really put some dark tones on that man. He wasn't black. He just really was like he's an honorary black man. He's an honorary black man. He like we live in a world where Mr. Krabs was one of the best Lex Luthors we've ever had. Like actually like personify that in your head. We live in a world where one of the best Lex Luthors is also Mr. Krabs. Is it better for you from a content creator standpoint for me to watch you here or YouTube? I mean, it really don't matter. I I'm trying to grow the YouTube and get ready for more YouTube content, but at the same time, I'm also trying to get to 10,000 followers on TikTok. So like either way, you're still being beneficial. So like it really don't matter. Here's the thing, Ben Grimm, my friends, yeah, love me some Ben Grimm. I even said though that if you're reading the Dakota incident, the Lex Luthor that you hear in this book, pound for pound, should be Young Justice Lex Luthor. It should be Mark Rolston Lex Luthor. Because the way this man talks, it is habitually white. It is habitually white man. Like capitalism is my drug, white man. Like that should be who you think about when you like read the Dakota incident. Like, hold on. I'm gonna pull this man up. Like, once you hear this man, you understand. Like, once you hear this man, yeah, white with a capital W, oh yes. Like, just listen to this shit. It'll load.
There was a tracker in that tin box you gave me.
Yes. I assume you discovered it with your X-ray vision?
You initiated the cloning projects.
I wanted Superman to meet his match.
And you used both of us to locate the missing genomorphs.
A good businessman has to keep track of his assets. But none of that is what really bothers you. Half your DNA is human. Haven't you wondered who the donor was? Or have you just been afraid to acknowledge the obvious? Face it, son. You have much more in common with me than Superman.
That's a lie!
What has he given you? Nothing. Not even affection. And why? Because Big Boy Blue lives in a world of black and white. You were created by the bad guys, so there must be something wrong with you. But we both know life isn't that clear-cut. The real world is full of grays. Weren't you determined to free Match at all costs? Yet, ultimately, you wisely agreed to my suggestion to refreeze him for the greater good of all. And though you think me a villain, you still accepted my shields. We're more alike than you care to admit.
See, like when you listen to this man, all you hear is, like that's who you hear when you read the Dakota incident. this is like you can't read this book and hear Clancy Brown. You hear that Lex Luthor because the way he talks to you in the most condescending, I have you by the balls, you have no answers to this. It is wholeheartedly white capitalism. I am better than you, ass Lex Luthor. Like that's what you hear. You think you can hate someone so much that you have a baby with them? Yeah, Luther's a little weird like that.
Take them back.
They're a gift from a father to his son.
I won't need them for this.
Red Sun.
Two words and he shut me down. What else can he make me do?
Got in his head. So, you know, when people say, oh, like, I read, like, my favorite Lex Luthor is Clancy Brown, I'd be like, okay, that's fair. But, like, Mark Rolston is that get in your head, grab you by the balls white man. Like, he just got it like that. Like, you just got to understand. He's got it like that. Like, he just be on your ass, and you don't know what to do with yourself. Because he just be like, well, now you know what's up. Let's watch Ernie's
See me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
By the time you're seeing this video, the new history of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident, should be on shelves by this point, or at least close enough to it. I have gotten a chance to read this within the past, like, couple of weeks from the time of this recording, and I can definitely tell you what this book is and what it isn't. I don't want to clear up some things just in case. I'm going to do something a little bit different from my normal videos. We're going to kind of be spoiler light in the first half of this video, and then I'm kind of just going to say fuck it, and we're just going to talk about the book in the second half of this. But before we go in, I do want to give a little bit of a PSA for anyone who is either a fan of Milestone or you've been recently tuned on to Milestone and you want to see more Milestone.
You think Connor should have half of Superman's powers or half technology? So here's the thing. When it comes to Connor Kent, maybe it's just because I grew up with Johns' Connor Kent. I prefer this. I prefer the half Kryptonian, half human version. I'm not the biggest fan of the like telekinesis thing. Oh, he just like simulates Superman's powers. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I know there's a lot of like Superboy purists that really get down with the tactile telekinesis, but like this is just so much more compelling to me. This feels so much more organic to me. This feels like genuinely it was meant to be the perfect like story from the beginning and should have just always been the origin for Connor Kent. And when we try to go away from that and go back to the biker jacket and the nonsense, I just kind of cringe because I'm like, ugh. I don't know, man. Like 90s Superboy just doesn't do it for me. Like once he joined Young Justice, it does, I prefer him on Young Justice. I prefer him going off with Tim and Impulse and doing the damn thing. I don't, dear God, John Romita Jr., your art is horrible. Like genuinely, I prefer Connor being of this generation. I prefer him with the t-shirt and the jeans. Like, I prefer that origin because it gives him a certain depth and a compelling that he always has to rise above. I prefer this over just like, hey yo, I'm the cool dude. Like, nah, dog, I'm not the one. I don't like this version of Connor. I never have liked this version of Connor. Like, even though I started with the like he dropped the jacket era of Young Justice with the red and blue suit, I still prefer t-shirt and jeans Superboy because it felt better to me. Well, that's DC being afraid to let their teen characters age. I mean, yeah, when you really think about it. When you really think about it. Hey, yo, y'all got me to 914 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. Like, genuinely. And y'all got me to 4,000 likes on TikTok. Y'all are crushing it tonight. Thank y'all for real. Y'all are the goats. But you know, I just me and this version of Connor Kent, or I prefer a t-shirt. I prefer like dude with like daddy issues Connor. I prefer daddy issues Connor because daddy issues Connor feels more compelling. It feels like a better story arc other than, oh, I'm Superboy. Like it just doesn't. Why do they have Tim Drake Forever 17? It's actually crazy. I think it's because they don't know what to do with him. Like that like they, even though it makes so much sense to normal fans what they should do with Tim Drake, they should just make him Red Robin again and let him grow up and do his own thing. But like, I don't think DC thinks this is a viable option, even though it's the option that every fan wants, is just to let him grow up, be the intellectual Bat family member, and let him be the Red Robin. Let him be like that dude who's there and trains the next generation in the Red and Black. And I feel like DC is afraid of that for some reason, and I don't understand why. Also, like, hot take, I'll be that guy. I loved the wings, the wingsuit. I love the wingsuit to death. I know it wasn't everybody's favorite. Granted, I prefer the Kingdom Come suit for sure. I love the Kingdom Come suit, but do I love the wingsuit for sure? For sure. His solo Red Robin run was so cool. Yeah, his solo Red Robin one was iconic. Hey, yo, I love people who are resonating with my video over on my post over on Threads where I said fuck AI. It feels good to see people actually like answer correctly to that statement because I'm tired of people like being down to clown with AI. It actually feels so disrespectful half the time. It don't make no damn sense, brother. Why y'all fucking with AI? Stop doing it. It don't make no sense. Hey, shout out to Michael for reposting my thing. If Tim stopped existing after 2011, he would be a Hall of Famer. Oh, for sure, for sure. Okay, let's talk about the WB shit because, oh lord, let's talk about the Warner Brothers shit because, oh boy, fuck you, Polygon. So as we know, it looks like Paramount is going to be acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. And I'm going to be a little blunt. I really have a lot of resentment for people like Jay Stubes and people who were out here in the streets telling people that Netflix getting Warner Brothers was such a bad thing because they were worried about the future of the theater. They were worried about theaters not having access as much to Warner Brothers Discovery's libraries when it comes to theatrical releases. Here's the thing. You chose continuation of theaters over censorship. That's the issue here, is that you chose the continuation of theaters and the thriving of theaters for a little bit longer, because at some point they're all going to crash and burn anyway, over censorship. Because that's what's going to happen under the WB going towards Paramount, is that we've seen from what the South Park creators have been warning us. We've seen what's going on with Colbert, when we see what's going on with CBS, that censorship is a continued thing going on with Paramount. The only reason why South Park isn't being censored to hell is because they grabbed Paramount by the balls and said, you either give us a buttload of money and let us keep continuing having creative control, or we're going to take our streaming rights to HBO, Netflix, whoever, and do whatever the fuck we want. And Paramount chose to give them a butt ton of money and let them have creative control, and they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. So if it weren't for like South Park doing what they did, we wouldn't have a resource telling us that censorship was coming. And they tried to warn us this was going on, but for some reason, everybody and their mama kept freaking out and saying, oh, the theater is going away, the theater. Bro, you chose censorship over the theater. The theater could have taken a little bit of a backslide in the name of keeping censorship at bay, and you chose not to. And that's my biggest issue with the entire situation, is that so many individuals were so gung-ho to be like, hey, yo, we'll be so down with more censorship just because we want to keep theaters open more. And I'm like, you sound so stupid. And it's just sad. You sound like so many Hollywood people were even saying Netflix getting it is bad. And it's like, look, like now you gotta deal with censorship because y'all thought this was the best solution. And I don't feel bad because we're gonna be living in a world where Superman has to listen to Donald Trump, where Batman has to be under Donald Trump's regime. And y'all wanted to fuck around and find out. Now you're gonna fuck around and find out. There was even fake reports coming out from the alt-right dudes being like, oh, Zachary Levi and Gal Gadot are already slated to come back in the Snyderverse. I was like, eat a dick, bro. Theaters have been spiraling for a while in both costs and then COVID. They shouldn't have been a priority. Yeah, I agree. But motherfuckers wanted to fuck around and find out. And it's just their own fault at this point. Hey, yo, shout out to Tim in my YouTube comments for backing me up about fuck AI. Tim is a real one. We fuck with Tim. Tim's good people. Tim's good people. We fuck with Tim. Tim said, hey, yo, fuck AI. I'm like, yeah, fuck AI, bro. Oh my God, Finn Balor's going to the hospital? Oh, that's Jey Uso. Is that Jey Uso? Jey Uso got taken out of the Elimination Chamber? See, this is what I get for doing a live stream instead of watching Friday Night SmackDown, even though I'm having more fun with this anyway. Please not Finn. No, it wasn't Finn Balor. It was Jey Uso. It just looked like Finn Balor for a second. But Jey Uso got took out. I don't know why Jey Uso got took out, but I wonder if it'll pull up because I saw the highlight on Instagram 2 seconds ago. Hey, yo, shout out to Coconut. Coconut's a badass. We love Coconut. Let me just pull up Twitter. They really took out Jey Uso from the Elimination Chamber. That's crazy. Oh, so since they took out Jay, it comes down to Logan versus fucking Jacob Fatu. That's cringe. Fucking Randy took out a Javon Evans. That's crazy. RKO everyone. I need to get out RKO everyone. They really took out Jey Uso. That's crazy. Oh, so Jacob's like defending Jay. Oh, okay. Oh, they straight buried his ass. Damn, they really took out Jey Uso. That's crazy. They really said Jey Uso got took the fuck out. That's wild. That's wild. They said, all right, y'all really don't like Jey Uso that much. We'll straight up take this man out. That's crazy. Ray Phoenix is like, or is that Dragon Lee? That's Dragon Lee. That's Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee's like, oh man. That's crazy. They took out Jey Uso like that. Oh, Matt Cardona answered Carmelo Hayes' challenge. They need to end the open challenge. It's kind of getting annoying at this point. All right, let's get back to this real quick.
Milestone here
I can't help it. I'm a wrestling goon. Leave me alone.
is one thing I need you to understand. If this book does not sell well, you will not see Milestone in any major capacity for a long time. Let's just go ahead and keep it a buck. DC only really seems to have like a vested interest in Static himself, not really any of the other characters. Even
Agreed.
that is tentative at best. I think they really only want Static because Static is the most popular character out of the entire crop, which is...
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. If it weren't for the fact that Static was such a beloved thing by the millennial generation, DC wouldn't give a shit about him. Like that is a fact of life at this point that no one is really talking about, is the fact that if it weren't for the fact that so many millennial fans love Static Shock, and there was that one girl who asked James Gunn when we were getting a Static movie, DC wouldn't care about Static. Hands down. DC wouldn't give a shit about Static. And that's the fact of life at this point that most people need to understand, is that DC does not give a shit about Static Shock. But motherfuckers don't want to understand.
Didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square.
People are doing different fonts for the Blood Syndicate logo. That's dope. Y'all really took out Jey Uso like that. That's crazy. It's just me, Us, but Jay is sleeping. That's funny. Pentagon officially declares Claude AI a national security risk. That's not what happened at all, and you know it. Wait, Dennis is live with fucking Black Comic Lords? Aw, shit. Ah, shit. Hold on. God damn it.
Everything else was just some side stuff. And that kind of stuff, even back then, was happening, you know. But they can't, if they have nothing to push against, there's nothing to push against. So you can be mad at Milestone all you want, but if Milestone's not replying and we're just doing our thing and being successful, that's your answer. That's your answer. That's the only real answer you can give.
That's the so you're saying, Mr. Cowan, that everybody should get to work, right? Because if we're too busy talking and arguing back and forth, no stories or anything.
There's really no point. Here's the thing. If we're arguing back and forth about, like, you know, who's blacker, who's supporting what black indie books and the big two and all this bullshit, who's really winning?
Oh,
right. Who's benefiting
getting
from
done?
that argument? Who's getting what from that? The only people getting anything from that are people who are trying to divide you and watching us argue like a bunch of fools and cracking up at the sidelines while they're doing whatever. That's ridiculous. You never give people that. What? No.
Paul need to stop with a gunshot.
Nothing but solidarity. For real. Yep. Whatever, who's doing what? Oh, you speak against one, you speak against all of us. You say something about Jamal Ingalls, Midnight Tiger, you say something about Static.
Ooh!
That's the way it
Yeah.
should
Yeah. I
be,
mean,
right? That's how you win.
And that's how it'll always be here at Black Comic Lords.
That's how you win. Any other way is just divide and conquer, and you're just looking kind of stupid. And you're not winning, and you're not selling anything, and it's all bad. So,
Yeah.
come on now. So our success, and this whole milestone initiative success, is everybody's success. Those are black characters. Those are black characters with DC's black characters, making people who never even thought about buying these books buy them.
Mm.
Right? So Stephanie's name getting in front of people who never saw her name, and Morgan's name, and Joe Illage's name, and Nicholas's name, and getting in front of people who never even thought about checking out none of this stuff with Superman and Batman on the cover. So it must be something to it.
Mm.
Mhm.
Now you're getting noticed. Now you're in that area. That's where you want to be.
Yeah. Wonder Woman is the reason why my sales went up.
When you got there by doing black characters and sticking to doing the thing, and then pretty soon those people will come to you. That's what's happening now.
That's the point. That's the point.
That's why we're doing what we do. You know. So sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No.
That was beautiful.
That
was beautiful.
Community needs to hear that.
It
The
is
community needs to hear that.
so cool.
Yeah, and
Like that, like he's definitely right. That like so much. Well, because like I even said this in my video that I posted right before a stream, where like, there's no reason why we can't do both. Where like you can honor the indie things, you can honor the past, but just like you see in the Black Comic Lords' back banner, you see Keisha Demon Eater right next to Black Lightning and Falcon. Like it's all that matters.
Work. Who actually just do the work and don't get involved in that shit. Who are you hearing from?
Yeah.
And in the past, we started this kind of stuff and couldn't finish it. Where are they now?
In the archives.
And the people they were speaking against, where are they now? Right?
What I will tell you is that there's a variety of people that have reached out to me with kind congratulations about what we've done.
Same.
And, there's successful Black entrepreneurs in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like when you have your business apparatus together, when you have your quality together, when you can look in the mirror and be fully accountable.
You can tell Joe's been talking for a while.
Then there's no need for any emotions of resentment, negativity, attack. There is only, hey, congratulations. And
so like he's right, but so many indie egos get in the way of things. There is enough money out there to go around. That's what I'm saying. Is like that's why I'm even talking to the folks over at Concrete. That way I can partner with them to get to let folks know about these books. That's why I'm working with people like out here trying to get more indies going. But I also busted my ass and bled my rear end to get people to go talk about this shit.
If y'all knew, I mean, I don't know if you can predict the impact that a character will have on people's lives. I will not mention the name. It is someone that is well known in animation. Years ago, before X became a sludge pool, someone posted an image of Static online on Twitter, and I liked it, and then we followed one another, and the person wanted.
Yeah, Dreamer, it's on Black Comic Lords' stream right now. I just wanted to sit and react to it.
When my brother and I were young, we were living a kind of life. Like we were out there in those streets. He said we saw Static and it turned us in the other direction. And that's when I knew. I was like, this thing changes lives.
Yeah.
And so what I hope people understand is we're not fighting for a corporation. We're not fighting for enslavement. We are fighting for the immortality of ideas so that these things are here when we're gone, right? And this story was about that, as a story and as metatext.
Fighting for a place at the table, fighting to be in the room.
Yeah.
Right?
And
still
yep.
fighting to be in the room. So
Yep.
I've heard that stuff about changing people's lives, how static affected people. Like I said, I get a lot of people who are in their 40s now who watched it when they were a kid and it changed their lives. And we hear all that. And I appreciate it. I try not to think about it too much because that kind of gets in the way of storytelling and telling exciting stories. If you think every word you're putting down may affect somebody's life, you don't you don't want to necessarily do that. But Dwayne and I and Michael, and Derek were very aware of kind of like the effect that we've had. We just try not to act like we've had that kind of effect. You know, we just do it.
Yeah.
But I certainly appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
Let's talk more about this book that you guys
talk about the book.
Yeah.
All right. Clearly evident as Static is fighting Shiv that something's going on.
Beacon is fighting Shiv.
Beacon.
Did I say Static?
You gotta put some respect on his name. All right.
Oh
Put some respect on it.
I apologize.
Emotional damage.
Put some respect on Amistad.
Chocolate's getting these. All right, so Beacon's fighting Shiv. Temporal anomaly, Star Trek, love that. Happening. He's about to jump through the time stream. Now, we talked about his power set, right? This suit that he's wearing, is this like a modification of the inertial winder belt that he had?
I don't know. Maybe. I know it was something that Marquise was like, put this in there. Because when that was originally written, it was that whole sequence was a lot more brutal. And Marquise was just kind of like, Jesus Christ, Nick. We can't have them all burst into flames like this and burned. I was like, okay, fine. Well, make it into like this white kind of thing. And then he was like, oh, well, maybe his suit, does the thing and activates it. And I was like, okay, well, then we'll put that in there. But originally it was going to be kind of like, when I first read it, it just kind of just engulfed him and he didn't know how he got in there. But then Marquise had the idea of it being like, oh, his suit activates and does it. So
nice.
Which makes me wonder, I'm like, can he always do this? But I guess it's like a super, super, super emergency setting for like dire things. He can't just do it for every minor inconvenience that happens. Like, oh, I don't like how today went. Let me just go back in time and fix it. I think it's just it's an emergency thing. The opening was really tough because I had to like also consider what everybody else had written, and everybody else there is much, much more experienced writer than me. So
you got to see everyone else's pieces as you were writing yours?
Yeah. We all like looked at, we were all like in a room together, so we got to kind of like, well, is this gonna happen and that's gonna happen? Then we got the scripts and you're looking over stuff and you just read, and I'm reading everything, like Joe would send something and then like Morgan would send something, Stephanie would send something, and I would just be here in this office just sinking into my chair.
Oh my
yeah, like how does that how do you sit in a writer's room with yourself, Stephanie?
Hey, what up, Kanye? We're just watching the Black Comic Lords live stream with the Milestone Dakota Incident writers and Dennis Cowan, sitting down, hanging out, watching this.
And I'm like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, everyone's got to step their game up. Like,
that's how it works. I mean, Dennis, I think, can speak to that. That's how art studios work, right? Like, if there's a studio of people, like you'll see, the table mate next to you be like, damn, that person's kicking it. I need to get back to my table and like kick it some more. So we were feeding off of one another. And
Who had that moment, Joe? Who had the moment? You're all in the writing room together, and you read a bit from one of you, and all of you like, damn.
Well, I'll say for me, it happened. Stephanie. Well, I'll say this first. Like we all kind of developed what the whole story was going to be together before we ever sat down to write anything and like take any individual stories. And Steph turned her outline in first. That's the one with the Suicide Squad when they come to Dakota. And I remember reading that outline, and I was already like, "We got to show up, right?" But when I read that outline, like I sat forward, like, "Oh no, I gotta lock the fuck in."
Yo,
like this is a joke. This is no joke.
There was a line in that outline. It said 3 words. It said Captain Atom deployment, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like it's like that. Like
it's like that.
Yeah.
Biggest possible guns because, you know, like real talk, like I'm 56. So I was in high school when post-crisis, like DC just like redid their whole line. I remember somewhere in the basement is definitely Captain Atom 1 by Pat Broderick and I think Jerry Conway. Definitely Suicide Squad #1 by John Ostrander and Luke McDonnell. So to be able to like, you know, like have the milestone characters like fight 1986 DC was bonkers.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. And when she wrote that, I was like, best person.
I said, damn, in my head, same, fam. Same.
Stephanie wrote that sequence with the Bronze Tiger and Pierce and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, on point.
Yep.
You guys are
when
not
I read it, when the advanced copies were given to us, I remember telling Marquise that for some reason I got very emotional reading that.
Yeah.
I couldn't even explain why, and then I realized what it was. I've seen our characters in print before, whatever, but I never seen them interact with DC characters like that. Like not only they were just as good, maybe they were a little bit better, and just the whole like it wasn't acceptance. It was just more like this is for real. Here we are, you know, messing around with these characters, and the way she wrote it was so great that it got me emotional. I was just like, oh, I get a little choked up here just seeing these characters interact with one another. This is so stupid. I gotta be tougher than this. So thank you for that, Stephanie, for breaking me down like that over some comic book characters. But
you are so welcome.
You certainly did.
Funny.
It's like, oh, so good.
I wasn't expecting to write something that was so action packed because usually when I'm brought in, it's for the more emotional, quieter beats. So when they were like,
that's your thing.
Thank you. I was like, Suicide Squad now. Big fan of John Ostrander's Suicide Squad.
Yes.
So I was definitely trying to evoke that boots on the ground. And we again started writing this back in October. So the fact that this entire story has been kind of clairvoyant in a way is also just wild. And I hated to do Bronze Tiger like that because I love that character. I really do.
Was it your choice to use Bronze Tiger?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Well, because I was trying to slide Vixen in there, but she wasn't a part of the squad at that time. So that's kind of how that ended up happening. Captain Boomerang is an ass, so he had to be there. And then Deadshot is Deadshot. He's just trying to, cut a check. But to have it through the lens of Bronze Tiger, because Joe talked about this earlier for Act 1, just speaking from the perspective like this is the golden years of the Suicide Squad. And then I knew that coming in for Act 2, it is the dismantling of that. And I was like, this has to be not only just action packed, but it has to be emotional as well because they built something beautiful and now it's boots on the ground to destroy that. And these are characters who are very prideful, and as they should be. They've been taking care of Dakota City this entire time, Paris Island, all of that. So to have someone come in and try to move you off your turf, which you've been handling while they've been off concerned with something else, you better believe that Icon was going to bring it when they deployed Captain Atom. That rocket, static, hardware, all of them were going to be there to show up for their city. So it was really an honor to be able to write something like that.
It was so great.
My only critique is that I needed 3 more pages of that battle.
Well, I would have,
Dude.
I got your 2 splash pages because that's a no-no when you're doing an anthology.
Steph fought
And
for those 2 double splashes. She got them. But real talk, I did ask for 48 pages.
Yeah, it was such a damn good scene.
We were told, like, usually these things are like maybe 32 or something like that. Like, we got 40 pages, which was a good division of 10, 10, 10, and 10, right? But so listen, I mean, we told like a 4-issue story in 40 pages, right? Which isn't easy, but we all worked at it. And one of the things that happened, like one of the things about being in the writer's room and jamming off each other is like, with Steph's thing, like I remember at one point she did something really cool, which was, like she said, because I had established from Beacon's perspective and thus his mom's perspective, like, you called this the golden year of Dakota. Like, so when the Suicide Squad rolls up in there, like the first thing you see is the poster of Dakota's heroes, right? And like, we stand together. And I was just like,
I love how you can see him with the poster, Dennis with the poster, and me with the poster.
That is real. That's how people do their president, like cities will do their mayors, their governors, and whatnot. And these were the first superheroes. They, like, Dakota was able to say, we have our own, so we are going to uplift them in every way we can. And so, like, just that shot where, like, you see these invaders and that poster there, like, it just says so much.
That's great.
Part of the I don't know if it's a mandate or not, or one of the things that you guys sort of addressed was this merging of this fractured DC universe and the Milestone universe. Now, one of the things that's unique about DC Comics, and frustrating to me as someone who grew up on Marvel, is there's so many damn universes. Like every time there's like a crisis every few years that splits up the universe, and it's hard to follow. But you Milestone has less of that. Is there, because canon always pops up in our community chats, right? Is there a particular aspect of the DC universe that you fit this Milestone universe into, or is it more of a generic general thing for everything? What did you guys even we're trying to do it like that?
Well, I kind of feel like that's why. Well, no, you go, Steph.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, what made the most sense, like what fit the best. So that I think that's why picking the time when Luther was president made so much sense for quite obvious reasons. But history would be able to change and the narrative would be controlled in that way, right? So because of that, I guess regardless of what universe, because of just who is in power in that way, that history has changed. And I'm so happy that we went about the story the way that we did, where it was an impact of government. Like, is the reason why these characters were what you did not hear from. It was kind of like the call was coming from inside the house with this book.
I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream.
Right?
I'm gonna encourage y'all to go.
It's so crazy to have a president of the United States as a supervillain.